You crave power? Then listen carefully. The world is chaos. Every man is clawing for control, grasping at shadows, trying to command forces that mock his every attempt. But not you, not anymore. You've been blind, chained by illusions, believing control was something to be seized out there, when in truth it has always lived within, in your mind, in your choices. Machiavelli whispered centuries ago, "Fortune favors the cold, the calculating, the untouchable." While others waste their breath battling storms, the true strategist sharpens himself into steel, and steel bends for no man. This is not about hope. This is not about faith. This is about becoming untouchable, about cutting away everything that makes you weak. Attachments, expectations, desperate hands reaching for validation, none of that belongs to you. Once you see this truth, once you detach from everything beyond your control, you ascend into a realm where no one can wound you. Stay with me, because by the end of this monologue, you will wield a weapon sharper than any blade, the power to stand alone, unshaken, unbroken. Comment this now. Cold mind, unbreakable will. This is the Machiavellian mind. Number 1, the illusion of control. You have been deceived since birth. Taught that effort shapes destiny, that loyalty earns reward, that order is born from faith in systems. But here's the brutal truth. Most of what surrounds you lies beyond your command. The weather, the economy, the betrayals of false friends, the lies of leaders, the whispers of enemies, all operate outside your reach. Yet men waste their strength raging against the uncontrollable, like sailors punching at waves. That is weakness. That is slavery. The Machiavellian mind sees the trap for what it is, a machine built to drain your energy. If you cannot dictate an outcome, you owe it no emotion. If you cannot command a situation, you owe it no fear. The lion does not argue with the storm. It waits, still unbothered, conserving its hunger for when the prey appears. You must become that lion. Detachment is not surrender, it is supremacy. When you detach, you strip life of its power to wound you. You stop expecting fairness. You stop expecting loyalty. You stop expecting the world to bow. And suddenly, you are untouchable. The masses are predictable. They cling, they beg, they shatter when control slips away. But you will be different. You will remain calm as they tremble. You will not curse the storm. You will use it. That is how true power is born. Through mastery of self, not mastery of chaos. Understand this deeply. Control is an illusion, but choice is not. Your choice is to detach, to sever weakness, to rise above the desperate crowd. Comment this now. I command myself and nothing commands me. Number 2, the cold liberation of detachment. Detachment is not emptiness, it is freedom. When you stop clinging to illusions, you awaken to a brutal kind of liberty few men ever taste. Most lives chained to outcomes, suffocating under the weight of what if. They tie themselves to relationships, to jobs, to reputations, to the approval of strangers, and collapse when those fragile things crumble. But the Machiavellian mind knows. Everything external is temporary, unstable, dangerous to depend on. The man who bases his worth on others' approval becomes their slave. The man who ties his happiness to fortune becomes its puppet. You will not be that man. Detachment cuts those chains. It makes you ungovernable. It teaches you that you are owed nothing, not loyalty, not fairness, not love. And once you accept this truth, nothing shocks you, nothing breaks you. You grow harder, colder, sharper, like iron born of fire. You can walk through betrayal without flinching. You can face loss without collapse. You can lose everything and remain whole. That is the essence of power. Detachment strips the world of its claws. When nothing external owns you, nothing can destroy you. That is why the strong are feared. They do not beg. They do not cling. They do not bow to emotion. They decide. They act. They conquer. And if fortune smiles, they use it. If fortune spits in their face, they endure it. Either way, they win. This is your transformation. From fragile to untouchable, from man to force. Let others drown in attachment. You will breathe in cold clarity. Comment this now. Nothing outside me holds power over me. Number 3, turning pain into power. Every man will face betrayal, loss, humiliation. These are not accidents. They are certainties. Weak men crumble under them, drowning in self-pity, pleading for the world to be fair. But fairness is a myth told to children. The Machiavellian knows pain is not the enemy. It is the raw material of strength. Every scar, every wound, every disappointment is fuel. When someone betrays you, the ordinary man weeps. But you smirk because you understand what it truly means. They have exposed themselves, and in their betrayal, they have handed you knowledge. Pain is not your enemy. It is information. Pain is clarity. Pain tears through illusions faster than any philosophy ever could. Do not resist it. Do not beg for it to disappear. Instead, absorb it. Weaponize it. Let it carve you into something beyond ordinary. The masses believe strength comes from comfort. They are wrong. True strength is born in fire. You do not become steel by resting in silk sheets. You become steel by being scorched, beaten and broken, until you can no longer bend. The Stoic and the Machiavellian meet at this truth. Accept pain not as punishment, but as purification. When you detach from the need for comfort, from the fantasy of a painless life, you become untouchable. The man who does not fear loss cannot be controlled. The man who does not shatter from betrayal cannot be broken. And the man who does not resent pain cannot be manipulated. This is why your enemies will fail. They still worship comfort. They cling to attachment. They drown in illusion, but you will feed on their weakness. You will not complain. You will not collapse. You will not plead for mercy. You will stare pain in the eye and whisper, "Break me if you can." That cold defiance, that unshakable will is what terrifies the world. Because when you learn to turn pain into power, you step into a realm few ever reach, a place where suffering becomes energy, betrayal becomes strategy, and loss becomes freedom. This is the warrior's secret. This is the Machiavellian truth. Life owes you nothing, so you owe it nothing back. Detach, endure, and turn pain into your greatest ally. Comment this now. My pain is my power, and it serves me. Number 4, mastering the mask. Power is not only about what burns within you, it is about what the world perceives. The Machiavellian mind understands this. Those who reveal every wound, every fear, every doubt, they become prey. The predator hides its hunger until the strike. The king hides his calculations behind stillness. To become untouchable, you must master the mask. The mask is not deceit, it is a weapon. It is the shield that conceals your emotions, the armor that guards your intent, the mirror that reflects only what you allow. Ordinary men walk exposed, bleeding their emotions into every moment, becoming predictable, easily manipulated. But when you wear the mask, you seize control of perception. No one can read you. No one can anticipate you. No one can use your feelings as a weapon. This is why rulers survive and predators reign. Behind the mask, you can think coldly while others drown in fury. You can move with precision while they flail in panic. You can plan 10 steps ahead while they're blinded by impulse. But here lies the deeper truth. The mask is not just for others. It is for you. When you practice restraint, when you learn to hide your reactions, you begin to command them. Your emotions no longer dominate you. You dominate them. Your rage becomes a blade instead of a chain. Your fear becomes awareness instead of paralysis. Your sorrow becomes strength instead of weakness. That is the cold alchemy of the mask. It turns chaos into control. Ask yourself this: when the world looks at you, do they see a frantic man, or do they see an unreadable force of nature? They must see the latter. They must believe nothing touches you, nothing bends you, nothing shakes you. That belief alone gives you dominance, because perception creates power, and when you control perception, you control the battlefield. Learn this: your silence is more menacing than their shouting, your calm more dangerous than their rage, your mask more powerful than their open hearts. Comment this now: my mask is my fortress, and none shall breach it. Number 5, the ruthless discipline of self-mastery. If detachment is the foundation, discipline is the fortress. Without discipline, every philosophy crumbles into empty rhetoric, and you remain just another man who speaks of power but never holds it. Self-mastery is the barrier that divides rulers from the ruled, predators from prey, the strong from the weak. And it is not beautiful. It is not comfortable. It is ruthless. To master yourself, you must rule over your body, your mind, your habits, your impulses with iron command. Every craving, every distraction, every weakness must kneel before your will. The masses surrender at the first taste of temptation. They scroll endlessly. They consume without control. They chase every fleeting desire. They call this freedom. It is not freedom. It is slavery to impulse. The Machiavellian mind knows true freedom begins only when desire obeys command. When you can tell your body to endure hunger, and it obeys. When you can order your mind to focus, and it listens. When you can stand in chaos and remain still because you have trained yourself to be unshakable. Discipline is your silent army. It is the invisible edge that defeats your rivals before battle begins. A man who rises with purpose, governs his time and commands his energy. This man cannot be conquered, for he has already conquered himself. Understand this. Every indulgence is a leash, every weakness a chain. Cut them, burn them. Refuse to let anything own you. Not food, not lust, not comfort, not approval. Self-mastery is cold because it demands sacrifice. You will sacrifice ease. You will sacrifice comfort. You will sacrifice the childish fantasy of effortless greatness. But what you gain in return is invincibility. Because once you master yourself, no one can master you. Think of the generals of history, the rulers who bent nations to their will. They were not soft. They rose early. They studied relentlessly. They trained without mercy. They lived by unbreakable rules. They understood that discipline is the furnace that forges men into weapons. You must become that weapon, sharpened, hardened, unyielding. When others chase distraction, you chase focus. When others drown in pleasure, you find strength in restraint. When others scatter in weakness, you remain firm. Do this, and you will never need to chase control of the world, because the world bends naturally to those who control themselves. You will not be touched, neither by chaos, nor betrayal, nor fortune's cruelty. You will rise above the desperate herd and look down upon them with calm indifference, because you will know you are no longer a creature of impulse. You are a man of power. Comment this now. I have mastered myself, and nothing can master me. Number 6, the calculated art of power. Power does not belong to the strongest, nor the loudest, nor the most emotional. It belongs to the most calculating. The man who rules his world is not the one who thrashes in anger, but the one who waits, observes, and strikes with precision. The Machiavellian mind sees the world as a board, and men as pieces. Some are pawns, some are knights, some are kings, but all are predictable. All can be read, all can be moved. To detach from what you cannot control does not mean surrendering influence. It means conserving your energy for what you can shape: people, perception, timing, and strategy. Understand this: men are driven by desire, fear, and ego. They reveal themselves in their words, their habits, their reactions. Most men are open books, waiting to be read. You must read them. You must study them with cold indifference, not to pity them, but to know exactly where to strike when the time arrives. The masses are blind to this. They act impulsively. They expose their hearts. They give away their leverage for nothing. But you, through detachment and calculation, will see the field with clarity. You will understand that manipulation is not cruelty, it is survival. Influence is not deceit, it is power. Every conqueror, every ruler, every strategist has known this truth. Control perception, and you control outcomes. Perception is shaped by how you present yourself, how you time your moves, and how you use the weakness of others to your advantage. You do not need to be the strongest. You must be the most strategic. When your enemies rage, you stay calm. When your rivals boast, you stay silent. When others act in haste, you move only when the ground favors you. Cold patience is your sword. Precision is your crown. Fortune bends to those who calculate instead of react. This is why Machiavelli wrote not for the good, but for the effective. The effective man bends loyalty, bends morality, bends circumstance to his will, because he sees reality without illusion. You must embrace this cold clarity. People are assets or obstacles, and both are useful if you know how to handle them. Never show all your cards. Never reveal your motives. Never grant anyone full access to your inner world. Keep them guessing. Keep them dependent. Keep them beneath your command. This is not cruelty. It is survival in a world that devours the naive and rewards the strategic. Comment this now. I calculate coldly. I move precisely. I rule silently. Number 7, emotional warfare and the power of indifference. If you wish to dominate the battlefield of life, understand one thing above all else. Emotions are weapons. They can destroy, they can enslave, and they can empower, but only when mastered. The weak man is owned by his emotions. He grows angry and reveals his hand. He feels envy and betrays himself. He loves too openly and becomes a slave to those he loves. He fears and becomes predictable. But the Machiavellian mind refuses to play that game. It knows emotions, when left unchecked, are chains, but when mastered, they are tools sharper than any blade. Think about it. How many wars, betrayals, and downfalls have been born not from logic, but from unrestrained emotion? Kings have lost thrones over lust. Generals have lost armies over pride. Empires have fallen because men could not govern themselves. To rise above this, you must master the art of indifference. Indifference is not weakness. It is the highest form of power. When insults slide off you, when betrayal does not shatter you, when loss fails to reduce you to dust, you become something that terrifies the world. Why? Because they cannot touch you. They cannot manipulate you. They cannot provoke you into foolishness. You must train yourself to respond not with fire, but with ice. When others scream, you remain silent. When others rage, you observe. When others collapse, you stay whole. And in that silence, in that coldness, you gain an advantage sharper than any blade. They expose themselves while you expose nothing. But let's go deeper. Emotional warfare is not just defense, it is offense. If you understand the emotions that drive men, greed, fear, pride, lust, you can control them without them ever realizing it. You can lure an enemy into revealing himself by feeding his arrogance. You can disarm a rival by making him feel powerful while you quietly strip him of strength. You can guide entire crowds by giving them illusions of hope while steering them exactly where you want. To master this, you must be both detached and observant. Watch how people behave under pressure. Watch how their desires betray them. Watch how they expose themselves in their smallest moments. Then store that knowledge until the moment it becomes useful. This is the cold beauty of indifference. When you no longer cling to your own emotions, you become free to weaponize the emotions of others. You stop being the puppet and become the puppeteer. Remember, the greatest power does not destroy through violence. It bends through influence. The power that comes from emotional control endures because people never realize they are being led until it is too late. So ask yourself, do you command your emotions or do they command you? Are you ruled by love, hate, and fear, or do you decide when and how they serve you? This is the test that separates the untouchable from the ordinary. This is the line dividing rulers from pawns. If you wish to embody Machiavelli's cold wisdom, you must become a fortress of indifference within and a master of emotion without. Comment this now. My emotions obey me. Others' emotions serve me. Number 8, the fortress of isolation and strategic alliance. The strongest men in history understood one thing with ruthless precision. To be truly untouchable, you must become your own fortress. That does not mean you must live without allies. It means you must never depend on them. Dependence is weakness. When you lean too heavily on another, you hand them power over you. And when they withdraw, betray, or collapse, you collapse with them. A Machiavellian mind never stakes survival on loyalty, because loyalty is as fragile as circumstance. Men are loyal until it costs them. Women are loyal until they want something greater. Friends are loyal until fear outweighs devotion. If you build your strength on loyalty, you've built your empire on sand. That is why the cold strategist builds his fortress within himself. He does not crave constant validation. He does not beg for reassurance. He does not seek permission to be strong. He is complete alone. But here lies the paradox. The fortress is not built to shut everyone out. It is built to ensure you never collapse if they walk away. True strength is not isolation. It is the ability to stand alone when you must. Once you master that, you choose allies not out of need, but out of strategy. You learn to view people not as extensions of yourself, but as assets. Some allies offer knowledge, some offer protection, some offer influence, but none of them must ever become your lifeline. You can use their loyalty, you can reward it, but you must never depend on it. Machiavelli once said, "It is safer to be feared than loved, but best to be both." Apply that to your life. Build alliances, but ensure the fear of losing you outweighs the love they have for you. Let them feel the value of your presence, but let them dread the price of crossing you. This balance keeps them in check. They will think twice before betrayal. And if they do betray, your fortress remains untouched. The masses cling to relationships in fear of loneliness. You must train yourself to see solitude as power. The man who can stand alone commands respect because his presence does not plead, it demands. When you no longer fear abandonment, others instinctively hold tighter to you, knowing you are the one who needs no one. This is the quiet authority of the untouchable. Freedom from dependence is freedom from control. Build your inner fortress so strong that betrayal, loss, or disappointment cannot penetrate it. Then and only then reach outward, not to need but to command. This is how kings ruled courts, how generals commanded armies, how rulers bent nations. They had allies, but they belonged to no one. Do this, and you will never beg for loyalty. You will inspire it. You will never break from betrayal. You will foresee it. You will never suffer abandonment. You will remain unmoved. Comment this now: I am a fortress. Alliances serve me, but I need none. Number 9, the war of perception and the shadow of power. Power is not always in what is real, it is in what is believed. The Machiavellian mind knows that perception is the true battlefield, where wars are won or lost before a single sword is drawn. Men do not follow truth. They follow what they believe to be truth. They do not fear what is truly dangerous. They fear what appears dangerous. They do not respect who is truly strong. They respect who appears unbreakable. This is why you must master the art of perception as ruthlessly as you master the art of detachment. Understand this: most people are blind. They do not see with clarity. They see through emotion. They are swayed by image, rumor, tone, and posture. This weakness is your weapon. To become untouchable, you must learn to shape what they see, what they hear, and what they believe about you. Never underestimate the power of your shadow. The shadow of power often outweighs the reality of power itself. A king who appears invincible may rule for decades, even if his armies are weak, because no one dares to test him. A man who appears indifferent to loss will be feared, even if inside he feels pain, because others assume he cannot be broken. A strategist who shows only calm will be respected, even if his mind burns with chaos, because people believe his silence hides strength. The perception of strength becomes strength itself. But the mistake of the weak is thinking they must constantly prove themselves, reveal their emotions, explain their actions, and expose their thoughts. That is folly. You owe the world nothing but what you choose to reveal. To be untouchable, you must be selective with your image, deliberate with your words, and disciplined with your silence. Speak rarely, but when you do, let your words strike like steel. Act sparingly, but when you act, let it echo with consequence. Never allow anyone to fully understand you, for what is understood can be predicted, and what is predicted can be controlled. Mystery is a fortress of its own. The less they know, the more they imagine, and what they imagine is always greater, darker, and more powerful than truth. Feed this illusion. Let whispers of your strength, your coldness, your precision grow beyond what is real, because belief will finish what you start. Men will submit not only to your actions, but to the myth of your presence. But remember, perception is a double-edged blade. If you allow weakness to be seen, if you expose too much, the myth collapses, and once shattered, it is almost impossible to rebuild. Guard your shadow as fiercely as you guard your fortress. Learn the art of indifference outwardly, even when storms rage within. Train your face, your posture, and your tone to betray nothing. Do not let love, anger, or despair expose you. Keep them locked within your walls, and show only what strengthens your legend. The man who rules perception rules reality itself, for reality to most is merely belief. So ask yourself, do you live as another fragile man bleeding his emotions for the world to see, or as a shadow of power, untouchable, unreadable, feared more than tested? That answer will define your place in this world. Comment this now: my shadow is power. Perception bends to my will. Number 10, becoming untouchable, the final transformation. This is where it all converges: the detachment, the discipline, the mask, the indifference, the fortress, the shadow. Piece by piece, I have given you the weapons. But weapons mean nothing if you do not wield them with finality. To become untouchable is not to memorize principles. It is to embody them until they define you. It means waking each day with ruthless clarity, knowing that nothing outside your control deserves your energy, and every ounce of strength must be directed toward what is within your grasp: your mind, your actions, your strategy. The masses cling to illusions, dreaming of loyalty without betrayal, comfort without struggle, victory without sacrifice. But if you are to rise, you must destroy those illusions within yourself. Detachment means walking away when others beg you to stay. Discipline means denying yourself when others indulge. The mask means concealing when others reveal. Indifference means standing firm when others crumble. The fortress means standing whole when they abandon you. And perception means being feared and respected even before being understood. This is the architecture of the untouchable mind, the Machiavellian mind, the mind that bends the world because it cannot be bent by it. But do not be deceived, this path is not soft. It is cold, sharp, and merciless. Greatness demands you become harder than the world itself. You will lose people. You will lose comforts. You will lose the illusions that once gave you safety. But what you gain is beyond measure. You gain yourself, pure, unchained, immune to the manipulations that enslave others. The man who cannot be manipulated is the man who cannot be broken. That is why this transformation terrifies the weak. They see in you what they can never become. They will call you cold, ruthless, heartless, because they do not understand that you have not killed your humanity. You have mastered it. You have taken betrayal, pain, and chaos and forged them into armor. You have stepped beyond the illusions of fairness and loyalty into the cold clarity of reality. You are not heartless. You are untouchable. And untouchable men command the future. Remember this always. Power is not given, it is taken. Respect is not requested, it is demanded. Survival is not offered, it is seized. Live as if no man can wound you, no betrayal can shake you, no storm can drown you. Live as if you are already the fortress, already the shadow, already the master of yourself and the manipulator of others. When you live this way, you do not chase power. Power comes to you. This is the essence of Machiavelli's cold wisdom. Fortune bends to those who do not beg for it, cling to it, or fear its loss. You will stand where others fall. You will rise where others break. This is your transformation into the untouchable. Comment this one last time: I am untouchable. Nothing owns me but myself. And if you are ready to walk deeper into this path of cold mastery, into the ruthless clarity of power, then like this video, subscribe to the Machiavellian Mind, and turn on notifications, because the world will not wait, and neither should you.